The placement of the sun in the 12th house of a natal chart is one of the most enigmatic and deeply spiritual positions in astrology. Often referred to as the house of undoing or the hidden realm, the 12th house is the domain of the subconscious, the collective unconscious, and things that are tucked away from the public eye. When the sun, the celestial body representing our ego, vitality, and core identity, resides here, the journey of the self becomes an inward odyssey rather than an outward display. The veiled identity. For most people, the sun represents a beacon of I am. However, with the sun in the 12th, that beacon is often shrouded in mist. You may have grown up feeling invisible or misunderstood, as if your true essence was vibrating on a frequency that others couldn't quite tune into. There is a fundamental undercover quality to your personality. While others are busy projecting their egos onto the world, you are often observing from the sidelines, absorbing the emotional and psychic data of the room. This can lead to a delayed development of the ego. You might not truly feel like you know yourself until later in life, after you've peeled back the layers of collective influence and ancestral baggage that occupy this house. The need for solitude. The 12th house is the monastery of the zodiac. With the sun here, your vitality is recharged through silence and seclusion. While you may be perfectly capable of socializing, an excess of outward movement can feel spiritually draining. You require hermit time to process the world. In the quiet, the boundary between your individual self and the universe begins to thin. This is where your greatest strength lies, in the ability to tap into a source of wisdom that transcends the mundane. You are likely a natural mystic, artist, or healer, even if you keep these talents private. Your light shines brightest when you are working behind the scenes or contributing to something larger than yourself, such as a charity, a spiritual practice, or a creative project done in total privacy. The shadow of the father. In traditional astrology, the sun represents the father figure or the primary authority in early life. With the sun in the 12th, the father is often perceived as a hidden figure. This doesn't always mean physical absence. He may have been emotionally distant, a ghost in the house, or perhaps a man who lived a life of sacrifice or struggle. Because the primary model of ego was obscured, you may struggle with self-assertion. There can be a subconscious fear that standing in your power will lead to loss or undoing. Part of your life's work involves reclaiming that solar fire, learning that being a distinct individual does not mean you are disconnected from the whole. Spiritual alchemy and compassion. The ultimate gift of the 12th house sun is a profound, almost limitless empathy. Because your ego is less rigid than most, you can step into the shoes of others with ease. You are the soul doctor of the zodiac, capable of understanding the suffering of the marginalized or the broken because you feel the pulse of the collective. However, the challenge is to avoid becoming a martyr. The 12th house can be a place of self-sacrifice where the individual is swallowed by the needs of others. To thrive, you must learn to navigate the waters of the subconscious without drowning. This involves setting psychic boundaries and recognizing that while you are a part of the ocean, you are also a unique wave within it. When you finally embrace your 12th house sun, you stop seeking validation from the external world and realize that your identity is rooted in something eternal. You become a light in the darkness, guiding others through their own hidden terrains by the simple virtue of having mastered your own. When the sun resides in the 12th house, the zodiac sign acts as the flavor of your subconscious and the specific way you retreat from the world. Because this is a hidden house, the traits of these signs often manifest more clearly in your private life or your dreams than in your public persona. Fire signs: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. In fire signs, the 12th house creates a smoldering effect. There is a powerful internal drive and a need for independence, but it is often suppressed. An Aries sun here may struggle with repressed anger or a hidden competitive streak, while a Leo sun might deeply crave recognition but feel a strange shame or hesitation about seeking the spotlight. A Sagittarius sun finds their truth in private study or distant spiritual journeys, often feeling like a philosopher who can only think clearly when alone. Earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Earth signs in the 12th house seek to bring order to the chaos of the subconscious. A Taurus sun finds spiritual peace through the senses, private gardening, cooking, or being in nature. A Virgo sun may become a silent healer, obsessively analyzing their inner world or providing quiet, behind-the-scenes service to others. A Capricorn sun often feels a heavy weight of ancestral responsibility. They may feel they have to carry the sins or burdens of their lineage, finding their power only when they master self-discipline in private. Air signs: Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Air signs here translate the 12th house through the intellect and social systems. A Gemini sun has a very active inner monologue and may find that their best ideas come during periods of silence or through journaling. A Libra sun often hides their need for partnership or spends a great deal of time privately weighing the ethics of their relationships. An Aquarius sun is the ultimate loner in a crowd, often feeling a deep, psychic connection to humanity's future while feeling personally alienated from the people standing right next to them. Water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Water signs are at home in the 12th house, but the emotional intensity can be overwhelming. A Cancer sun is deeply protective of their inner world, often retreating into a shell to process familial or collective emotions. A Scorpio sun here is the natural detective of the psyche, unafraid to look into the dark corners of the soul, though they may keep their true power a total secret from the world. A Pisces sun in the 12th is the most classic placement, representing a soul that is nearly translucent, highly psychic, profoundly creative, and at risk of losing their boundaries entirely if they do not find a grounding practice. The transit of the sun through the 12th house is a profound period of interiority, marking a month-long phase where the light of consciousness dives into the deep waters of the subconscious. Regardless of where your birthday falls in the calendar year, this transit occurs when the sun moves through the zodiac sign occupying the 12th sector of your natal chart. It represents a cyclic ego dissolution, a time when the external world loses its luster and the internal world becomes vivid, demanding, and spiritually charged. The internalization of vitality. The sun is the source of our outward vitality and will to be. When it enters the 12th house, the realm of the hidden, the collective unconscious, and the transcendental, that energy is diverted inward. You may notice a distinct drop in your physical stamina or a sudden lack of interest in social climbing and public performance. This is not a failure of energy, but a redirection of it. The sun is now illuminating the blind spots of your life. It is shining a light into the basement of your psyche, bringing up dreams, repressed memories, and the subtle emotional undercurrents that you usually ignore during more active transits. The psychic sponge effect. During this period, your boundaries become more porous. The 12th house is where the individual meets the infinite, and with the sun here, you become a psychic sponge. You are likely to pick up on the moods, anxieties, and unsaid tensions of those around you. This can be incredibly draining if you are in crowded or high-stress environments. Because of this heightened sensitivity, the 12th house transit often necessitates a strategic retreat. Solitude during these weeks isn't just a preference, it is a form of psychic hygiene. It allows you to sort through the clutter you've absorbed and determine what belongs to you and what belongs to the collective. Behind-the-scenes productivity. While this transit is often associated with rest, it is also a powerhouse for invisible productivity. It is one of the best times of the year for any work that requires anonymity, deep research, or creative incubation. If you are a writer, an artist, or a researcher, the sun in the 12th provides the focus needed to lose yourself in your craft without the distraction of the ego's need for immediate applause. You are working for the work itself, tapping into a flow state that is often inaccessible when the sun is transiting more social or career-oriented houses. The meeting with the shadow. The 12th house is traditionally known as the house of self-undoing, which sounds ominous but actually refers to the ways we unconsciously sabotage ourselves. As the sun transits this area, it acts as a searchlight. You may become aware of self-limiting beliefs or secret habits that have been holding you back. This is an ideal time for therapy, meditation, or any form of shadow work. By facing these hidden aspects of yourself while the sun provides the clarity to see them, you prevent them from manifesting as external enemies or obstacles in the future. Preparing for the personal sunrise. The culmination of the sun's journey through the 12th house is its crossing over your ascendant, the first house cusp. That moment is your personal sunrise, a burst of new energy and a literal coming out into the world. The month spent in the 12th house is the necessary preparation for that rebirth. It is the time to forgive yourself, release the ghosts of the past year, and clear the mental and emotional decks. When you lean into the quiet and the introspection of this transit, you emerge into your first house transit not just with energy, but with a profound sense of clarity and a soul that has been cleansed of its recent burdens.